Hello, this is Stephanie from mypasttheciaexam.com. Today, I'll go over some tips for the CIA exam. I have 38 of them, but we'll pick 6 for your reference. You can click on the eye icon anytime to check out the rest of the tips on my website. Tips number 8. Prioritize based on the long-term goals of your life. Once you start studying, if you insist in watching the TV show or uploading your cat photos to Facebook, think about what this means to you 10 years down the road. Would the TV show get the promotion, the dream job, and a better life for you and your family? Let's prioritize based on our long-term goals instead of short-term enjoyment. Tips number 17. Understand how multiple choice questions work. Since most questions are multiple choice in the exam, it's worth analyzing the good and bad about MC questions. Some candidates find MC questions easy because, first, it is comforting to know that one of the choices must be correct. Second, there are so many questions. We don't feel too bad if we miss a few of them. Third, we are purely tested on our knowledge on the topic, instead of creativity or analytical and writing skills. But other candidates don't like MC questions because, first, the answer keys can be confusing, as you may be required to pick the best answer out of the few possibly correct answers. Second, candidates can easily get distracted by factually correct but irrelevant answers. Third, there are so many questions that your mind blanks out towards the end of the exam section. What we can do is to identify these potential weaknesses and directly address those during the exam preparation. Tips number 21. Refine your skill in educated guessing. As in any professional exams, candidates often get caught by questions they have never seen before. With this in mind, it is very important that candidates practice the art of educated guessing throughout their study. In other words, get practices on a large variety of topics and don't skip around the questions if you don't know. Also, don't be afraid of the test mode, that is, working on the practice questions as if they were a real test, with time limits and that you cannot check the answer until the end. I know it's more stressful, and I don't like the extra stress either, but that's precisely why you have to overcome it. In terms of test-taking strategies, try your best to get the best answer by whatever means. It could be by elimination, by relating a concept you learned from your other exams, for example. This skill is going to be critical in the actual exam. Tips number 26. Anticipate the correct answer before reading the choices. Sometimes, all the available answer choices look reasonable. In this case, they could do more harm than good by throwing you off and distracting you. In fact, the 3 incorrect answer choices are technically known as the distractors. You should always come up with the answer in your head before looking at the choices. If your answer matches with one of the responses, then you won't be distracted and can be confident that the particular response is correct. Tips number 29. Be careful with absolute statements. When you see words such as always, every, never, and none in the responses, be careful. It is not guaranteed, but they are likely to be incorrect. The exam covers topics in real business situations, and there are very few absolutely right or wrong situations in real life. Tips number 37. Eliminate the choice that doesn't feel right. If you get stuck, try imagining each choice as the correct answer. People can often feel that one of the answers is right. This happens when you are familiar with a concept but don't have a firm grasp at it. Just like you may know a person, but you cannot recall his name. Luckily, your intuition is often correct, so go for the answer. I hope these study tips and exam-taking strategies are helpful. If you are interested in checking out the other tips, read my full page on clicking the eye icon at the upper right-hand corner of this video. You are also most welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more updates on this exam. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.